Hi, my name is Mackenna Zeller, and I have chosen to present today on crawfish. So, a little introduction about this species is that they are freshwater crustaceans that live in freshwater sources. So, that means like lakes, rivers, streams, anything with fresh water, not so much saltwater. They range in size from about 3.5 to 7 inches in length, and there are more than 400 species of crawfish in the world, with about 250 of them being found in North America. So a little bit about where you can find them and what they eat. Their habitats are freshwater, as I said in the last slide, and they can be found in swamps, rivers, and lakes. And they are typically found buried underneath mud or rocks because they like the dark, damp environment that happens whenever you're under that stuff. So a little bit about what they eat is they are omnivores, so they eat both plant and animal matter, and they prefer vegetable particles and things like fish food when they're in captivity by humans. But when they're in the wild, they obtain their food by letting the water flow around them and grabbing things and eating things that are in the moving water. So a few names for crawfish. The market name, like what they're sold by, is typically crayfish, and their scientific name is Procambarus clarkii. And that's what's typically used whenever you're learning about crawfish or in biology. And then common names can be crawdad, mud bugs, or crawfish. So the tree of life is pretty complicated, but crawfish are found under the Arthropoda class, which can be found under the eukaryotic domain on the tree of life. And here's a simplistic diagram for the tree of life. A little bit more about crawfish is that when they're considering predator prey, they're actually both of these things. So in their environment, crawfish are predators to macroinvertebrates, fish, and amphibians. And although they are predators to these things, they're also prey to organisms such as marine birds, large fish, as well as humans, because we like crawfish sometimes, so we are considered predators to them, and they're the prey. Some important characteristics of crawfish to the ecosystem and humankind is that crawfish are very important whenever it comes to the food webs of water ecosystems. They consume many dead organisms that would otherwise sit as waste in the environment and take up space, and make the water a little bit more trashy and not as clean. And then they are also major food sources to water birds called herons, and then bass, the fish, and then many animals and mammals like raccoons like to eat crawfish straight from the water. And without these crawfish, the balance of the food web would be disrupted and many organisms would be greatly affected. So here are two pictures of some crawfish in the wild. The left one looks as if it's in more of a stream with some clear water, and then the right looks like it's a sandy lake or something like that. Here's a short little video of how the crawfish move in the wild. They're able to jump around and walk around as well as swimming around, which will not be seen in the video, but they do that. So a few evolved traits and unique characteristics of crawfish is that they walk forwards and swim backwards, which is very interesting because that's a very unique characteristic to most animals. And they can live up to 30 years old. Crawfish's eyes are located on top of stalks that are on the top of their heads that rotate all the way around for more vision and a wider field of view. They have exoskeletons that protect their organisms from external threats. And those exoskeletons have specific holes and slaps on them that make it easier for the gills to access the oxygen for them to be able to breathe. Here's my works cited, and thank you so much for listening to my presentation.